So today we are exploring about 15 to 20 different poses. And if you haven't started your yoga practice, maybe this is a great way to begin exploring some of these poses and figure out how much strength you need or how much flexibility you can gain. Try to explore these one at a time if you haven't so far. And if you are practicing yoga already, just maybe this will enhance your practice and get you a little bit deeper. So let's get started on the mat. All you need is a mat and maybe a block or two if you practice with the blocks. So let's get started. So our first pose will be downward facing dog. So to come into downward facing dog, let's just fold halfway in the middle of the mat and then walk your hands forward and then step your feet back. So your hands are shoulder width. Try to press through your hands and lift your hips up and back. Now your heels are hip width apart. Draw your heels up high and then spread your heels away from each other energetically. And then from here, straight legs as you draw your heels down, flexing through your thighs. Your arms are strong, your legs are strong. Breathing in through your nose, filling up the belly, chest, ribs. As you exhale, press the mat away, pull the belly to your spine, thighs go back, draw your heels down. We have halfway to go. Start to feel the strength in your arms, the pull in your outer ribs towards the back, softening through the ribs. Breathing slow and deep inhales, full and slow exhales. 10 more seconds. And then gently rolling into plank pose, bring your knees down to the mat. Our second pose will be child's pose. So bring your knees together, feet together. Slowly draw your hips back towards the heels. And then walk your hands back. Allow your forehead to come down, belly against your thighs. If comfortable, start to walk your hands back, palms face up. Relax your head. 30 seconds here. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through your nose. Try to make your inhales as long as your exhales. If this is uncomfortable, you can always stack your forearms and place your forehead on top. Halfway there. One more breath. And a breath out. Start to rise up. Our third pose. So first was down dog, which was strengthening and warming. Second pose was child's pose, which was also stretching and resting pose. So the third pose is our plank pose, where you align your shoulders over your wrists and the heels over the balls of your feet. You're pressing the mat away. Your whole body is like a plank, like a bench you can sit upon, flying the energy through the backs of your heels, trying to reach the crown of the head forward. Pull the belly into your spine and the ribs towards your hip points. You're flexing through your thighs up to the sky or ceiling. Good. Breathing in, filling up. Breathing out, empty. Your gaze is in between your fingertips. You're really pushing the mat away. Spread those fingers wide. Armpits are caving in. Upper arms wrap back. Inner thighs wrap up. Try to feel that engagement in your core. Try to feel the shake in your thighs, your arms. 10 more seconds. Slowly lean forward, bring your knees down. We'll take puppy dog stretch from here. So just walk your knees back if you don't have room in the front. Maybe walk the hands slightly forward. And then allow your chest to come down, forehead to rest on the mat. So your hips are on top of your knees. You can keep your toes untucked if you like. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. You might feel this in the upper back, stretch in your shoulders, arms, side body. Keep pulling that belly in so there is no arch in your low back. And again, this is comfortable. You can always stack your forearms, rest your forehead on top. And if this is too easy for some people who are flexible, you can interlace your hands behind your head, feeling even more stretch in your upper arms, triceps. 10 more seconds. Release your hands if they're interlaced. Lift up your head. Start to walk your hands back. Finding the tabletop position where your shoulders are over your wrist and your knees are right underneath your hips. So tuck your toes here. We'll take some stretches, cats and cows, as we call it in yoga. So from here, pull the low belly in. Palms press really well, elbow creases face forward, shoulders are wide. From here, tuck the tailbone up, drop the belly, lift your chest, chin. Feel that arch in your low back. And as you exhale, you can untuck your toes, press the mat away as you round your spine, tuck your chin underneath. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your chest, chin. Feel that spine aligning with your breath. Exhale, round. Take time to inhale and then find that flow coming from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. On your inhale, as you exhale, tailbone tucks under, belly pulls in, tuck your chin round your spine. One more, tuck the toes, tailbone lifts, drop the belly, chest forward, lift your gaze. Untuck your toes, tailbone tucks, pull the belly in. Feel that wave of the breath moving your spine. And then come back to your neutral spine. So we took the plank with the hands down. So the second plank we'll be taking is the forearm plank, where you bring your forearms down. Palms can face down, or you can interlace your fingers like this. Or you can just make a fist. And then step your right foot back. We are here for 30 seconds. So Left foot back to meet. Drop those hips so they're in line with your shoulders. Hug the low belly in, firming up those thighs. Right, outer hips roll down, inner thighs roll up. You want to press those forearms down and back, pulling your chest forward. Right, so shoulders align with your elbows. The balls of your feet align with your heels. So start to feel a shake in your arms. Keep pulling the belly in, breathing in and out through your nose. Firm up your glutes. I can't even talk. 10 more seconds. You can start with 10 seconds if this is too much for you, and you can always take a break by bringing your knees down. Good. Lower all the way down to your belly. Your hips, untuck the toes. We'll take cobra pose from here, which is also a stretch. Nice stretch for your front body, strengthening for your back body. So keep your toes untucked. Point the toes back. Bring your hands by your lower ribs. Pull the shoulders back and down from here. Lift your chest and your gaze forward. This is baby cobra. If this is okay for you, stay here. You're pressing down through your hip points and the tops of your toes. If you feel okay and comfortable, start to lift your arms off the ground, hands off the ground. And if this is easy or not enough, maybe come to full cobra, not baby cobra. Keep your legs on the ground, open the chest nice and wide. Feel that pull in your belly as you bring your hips towards your wrists. There's a lot of compression in your lower back. So if this is too much, you can always come down to baby cobra. 10 more seconds. Try to sustain the pose even if you feel uncomfortable or you think you're done. Your mind is the first one to give up. And as you exhale, slowly bend the elbows lower down to your belly. And take a couple breaths to reset your back, forearms stack, forehead on top. Bend the knees here. You can sway your feet side to side. From here, come back up to tabletop position. We'll take tree pose from here. So start to walk your hands back to your knees. Lift up your hips. Walk your hands back. And then start to rise up to stand. I'm going to face you guys. So hands on your hips. Firmly press through all four corners of your left foot. Start to lift your right heel off the ground. And then lift your foot off as you bring your right knee towards your chest. Flex the right foot and push your right foot slightly away from your left knee, so it's right underneath your right knee. Good. So from here, you can open that right knee out to the right. Maybe place it on your shin. If this is not enough, you can hold your foot ankle with your right hand and place it inside your inner thigh. If this is too much, you can always place your heel over the left ankle. Hands to prayer. So find which one works for you, either ankle, your shin, or your inner left thigh. So you might feel wobbly at first, but try to focus on your breath. Press the palms together in front of you if you are able to. And then focus your gaze at some point or something that's not moving. pressing your foot into your thigh and thigh back into your foot. So finding that stability. And start to lengthen that tailbone down to your heel, keeping your chest upright. 10 more seconds. If you find stability, you can reach your arms up. And then slowly release your foot and your hands back to your heart. Shake out that left leg. And then we'll take the other side. So choose which one you want to try first. You can always change on the other side. If it's too much for you to take it all the way up, you can just leave it on your ankle. Both sides of your body are really different. So one side can be stronger, one side can be open. So depending how you feel, just try to explore and see what works for you here. So maybe shin works today, right? It's the same thing. You're just trying to find balance with your right leg. And once you feel stable, reach your arms up. The most challenging part for tree for me is to close my eyes, but you can go ahead and challenge yourself. Try to see if you can let the grip off your toes. Really pressing that foot into your leg and leg back into your foot. Pull that belly in, strong arms, strong legs. One more breath. Good, slowly lower your hands to your heart. Release that foot and then shake it out. So from here, our next pose is Warrior One. So come to the back of the mat. Bring your feet as wide as the mat. So I like to start wide because we need our Warrior One to be wide and short. So from here, gently step that right foot about 3 feet, 3.5 feet from that back foot. Turn your left toes slightly out to the left. And then make sure your front toes are facing forward. And then press into that back foot really well. And then bend your right knee over the right ankle, pressing it out to the right side so you can see your big toe. So once you find that engagement in your left thigh, bring your hands to front in the prayer position. And then reach your arms up to the sky, spiraling your fingers to the back, opening up the shoulders, chest. As you press the right foot down, really guide that right hip towards the back heel to find the square hips. Now pull that low belly in towards your spine as you lift up through your chest, feeling that engagement, the strength in your back leg. As you press the outer left foot, feel the inner arch lift. Breathing in, breathing out. This is again a strengthening pose, finding that breath, connection with your breath to the grounding of your feet, and reaching your arms up to the sky. And then gently bring your hands back to prayer, and then drag that right foot back to meet at the back of the mat. We'll take the other side, Warrior One on the left side. So step your left foot towards the left side of the mat, keeping about 3 to 3.5 feet between your feet. Turning your right toes out, bend into your left knee, and then start to drag that left hip back as you press into your left heel really well. And then reach your arms up energetically, finding length in your side waist. As you sink your hips further, try to maintain those square hips by grounding the left foot down, pressing the left knee out, and guiding the left hip back. So feel real engagement in your right inner thigh towards your back heel. Keep that back leg straight and grounded. Few more breaths. Even if your mind wants to give up, see if you can stay here. Really feel the body changing. Last breath. And then release your hands down. Slowly toe heel your foot to the back. Take a breath. And then release. So our next pose is Warrior 2, which is unlike Warrior 1. Warrior 1 is short and wide, while Warrior 2 is as long as the mat if you are tall, and then narrow so your front heel matches the back heel. Once you establish your legs, you can see your right big toe if you look down. You can press the left outer foot down and feel the left inner arch of your foot lift. Real engagement of your inner thighs here. Drop your seat an inch down, but make sure your right knee doesn't pass your ankle. Arms extended energetically. Look over the front right middle finger. You start to feel the burn in your thighs, your inner thighs, your outer thighs, your hips. Make sure your hip points are facing the left side, not the same side as your gaze or where you're looking. Really press that right heel down. Ten more seconds. And if this is too much, you can always take a break, extend that right leg in between, and then rebend it. So try to start with smaller amounts of holds, maybe 10 seconds. Good. Slowly release. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right foot in, and then turn your left foot out for the other side. So adjust your feet as needed. One side of Warrior 2 might feel different than the other, depending on your hip flexibility. And then sink your hips and then adjust your feet as needed. Making sure your front knee doesn't pass your ankle. It can be slightly behind. So make sure this doesn't happen, right? So you want to keep dragging your left hip back and extend your arms. Look over your front middle finger. And if you look down, you should be able to see your big toe. So press that left thigh over to the left side. Slow breaths in and out through your nose. Feel those inner thighs, outer hips, strengthening, opening, stretching, toning. And maybe a little focus and calm here, maybe close the eyes. Stay as long as you can or take a little break. And then gently straighten your left leg, hands to hips. Turn your feet forward. And then turn to toe heel your feet together. And we'll come into squat pose. So keep your feet as wide as the hips or maybe a little wider. Just we want to make sure the heels are grounded, toes are out. And then bring your hands to prayer. Start to bend at the knees and then lower the hips. You can always adjust once you get down how you want to position this. Excuse me. Now press those knees and elbows towards each other. Press the palms together, keeping the chest lifted, and then draw the tailbone down to your heels or the ground. Maybe close the eyes here, feeling the inner and outer hips. Really use the strength of your arms to press the knees out, and then strength of your legs to press the elbows in. So try to avoid doing this where you bring your shoulders down. So you kind of want to prevent that rounding in your spine. So that means bring your elbows up into your knees. Keeping the chest lifted, lengthen your spine. And then release your hands down. Every hold is almost 30 seconds. You can always make it shorter or longer depending on how you feel. So our next pose we'll take is triangle pose. The leg positions is almost similar to our warrior one, except they might be a little closer, not as wide. Keep your legs straight, cutting that right hip back. You want to hinge at the right hip and press that left outer hip at the corner of your left corner of the mat. Reaching your right arm down towards your right shin, inside the right shin, and then opening your left arm up to the sky. So make sure you're not dumping your weight or leaning on that right leg. You just want to keep your legs strong. Oops, that can happen, right? It's okay. Come right back up. So when you're trying to focus on something else, you can lose the balance. So find that length in your both side waist. So you're not crunching your side waist like this. You're trying to keep your body nice and strong, lifted, reaching the crown of the head forward. Your tailbone to your back heel. Press your feet down to keep yourself lifted. You gaze, your sight, eyesight can be up to the front or even to the floor. And turning your right shoulder out, not caving in, just paying little attention to all these things. It's a lot to take care of. Bring your hand to your hip, rise back up, and we'll turn to face the other side for left side triangle. So again, take your feet where you need it to be. So triangle is a little shorter than your warrior two, but heels can align. Cut that left hip this time, pushing that right hip out to the corner of the mat. Left arm against your left shin, and then right arm reaches up. Keep pressing to the big toe mounds, flexing your thighs, breathing in and out through your nose. Again, making sure your left shoulder is not caving in or you're not hinging too much. Gently bring your right hand to your right hip, left hand to left hip as you come up. Turn yourself to face the front. Toe heel your feet together. We have a few more poses. Great job so far.